Okay, so day 9 and my last day in Germany. Just stayed at this hotel last night, which was very nice. Actually probably a little bit more expensive than I had planned, including dinner that I had last night. Actually 90 euros, so not horrible, but yeah, the most expensive so far. And now I've got a short hop to MRA, which is much closer than I actually thought it was. You also notice that I've changed the camera angle. I've been using that 360 camera, but when I've looked back at some of the footage from this camera on my chin, I have realised that it's a bit distracting, doesn't look so great. A bit murky today, but that should clear off. Forecast is for more sunshine and about 19 degrees a bit later on. One thing I haven't done really is captured many interesting camera angles for you, and I'll talk a little bit about this after my visit. I'm not a moto vlogger. I'd like to do more, but you know, I don't talk a lot. I kind of only talk if I've got something interesting to say, and that doesn't happen very often. But you realise when you do a trip like this just how much work goes into those. I'll lose the visor because I'm just steaming up. So I'm literally 5 minutes away from MRA. As you know, I've obviously got an MRA screen on here, which I've been using for a while. I take it off generally in the summer and put the short R screen on, just so that I've got a little bit more wind on me. But this sports screen has done well. I did look at the touring screen, which is taller, and in hindsight, if I actually am fitting a screen for the winter and for touring and one for the summer, it makes sense to have the touring screen. So I've got this that I've put on the top. If I could do without that, I suppose that would be good. But what I like about these screens compared to the standard KTM one is just how solid it fits. You don't get any shaking or rattling or moving around. But anyway, there's enough whittering on about screens. Let's go and see where they're made, which is apparently here somewhere. Dun dun dun. There we go, MRA motorcycle windshields. Here we are. So I'm here at MRA, kind of a last minute arrangement, but they were so close to where I was staying, as you can see, so I thought it would be worth coming and have a look around, seeing as they use one of their screens. So let's take a look.
Good.
So that's how they put the logos on the screen, nice and easy.
Yes. Not.
Is it wonky? It's early. And then we've come into the storage where things get stored and dispatched, and there are just tons and tons and tons. Again, it's another impressive facility. And that's how you tape the boxes. So that was literally just a quick flying visit at MRA. Everybody's at the Intermot show at Cologne, so Dominica showed me around. There's a few things that I wasn't allowed to film and I wasn't allowed to show you, but an interesting place. And as you'll know, I've been using this screen on this trip, and it's a big improvement over the stock KTM screen. I think actually now I've used this more, I probably would go for the touring screen for trips like this and for over the winter. But I wanted to keep it relatively short. I don't really like massive tall screens, but I've realised the practicality of them. So onwards from here into France. I'm staying just north of Reims. I'll try and find somewhere interesting maybe en route, but this motor vlogging isn't easy. You have to take your hat off to people that do this full time, because it is quite intensive. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Hey. Iron Cuffer. Yeah, so as I alluded to earlier, when you watch a lot of the good moto vloggers, people obviously like Itchy Boots that come to mind, and Mark Travels, and in the UK, Richie Vida, username Kate, and people like that. But you realise just how much effort goes into making one of these. So yesterday I was riding, I went over the Olberg Pass. Okay, it wasn't fantastic weather, it was a bit wet, but I rode over the pass. What I should have done is stopped, put the drone up, got some footage, talked to the camera, talked about the pass, but I was just concentrating on getting where I wanted to go, and to get different camera angles. You know, it's easy just to smack a camera onto your chin here and record and have that single point of view, but to make it interesting you kind of need a second camera, so that if you can cut between one and two and make it a little bit more interesting. You know, when I'm doing a bike review, I've got a bit more focus and time, and that's all I'm concentrating on. When you're doing a moto vlog, you've got to kind of travel, cover ground, and make it interesting as well. And that's where things like, you know, when you, Itchy Boots is a prime example. She's a very entertaining person to watch anyway. She's very enthusiastic, but nothing ever kind of seems to unsettle her, and she's full of useful information. There's a ton of planning that goes into it, and she edits as well whilst travelling, as does Mark on Mark Travels, and that's an incredible amount of work. And I guess you have to have a little bit more of an entertaining personality, which maybe I don't have. From when I started the channel, I've kind of keep slightly detached, which probably hasn't done me that well. I've never really let people in from outside, so my reviews are a bit more matter of fact, and I'm hoping that sort of trips like this will start to open that up. Although I've been doing YouTube for what, 6 years, 7 years now, I'm still really learning my craft in terms of moto vlogging, and as I say, there is a hell of a lot goes into it. So anyway, I'm heading to France now, and I'm back on the small roads. As I say, it was only a short hop onto a little bit of motorway, and I've picked a route that I can kind of hop off and on, and it just knocks 2 or 3 hours out of the journey. Maybe I'll stop and have a proper lunch today, as opposed to eating something from a petrol station. This is just my last little bit. Oh, there's a Alfa Zagato. Do not see those very often. I'm not sure this guy in front knows where he's going. There we go. Actually, I'll leave the camera running and I'll try and catch up with that Zagato, unless he's in a hurry. It's on Dutch plates. Off he goes. Very cool car. The mist is already causing problems with my GoPro. It doesn't want to switch off, so I'm going to have to find somewhere to stop and disconnect the battery. I've never heard of lay-bys in Germany.
One eternity later.
This will do the job for now. When they work, they're great. So I'm going to leave this off for now anyway, because as you can see, it's not really very much to look at. Let's give this a cut. I am now heading from Germany into France. I'm into the Alsace, home of wine and dogs. It's not a reservoir, it's a lock on a river. Don't ask me which one. Markelsheim. I'm guessing it's a hydroelectric power plant. As the mist is clearing, and the sun is starting to break through. It's got a very sort of painterly effect on the light. So some of the scenery is trying to emerge. Now this is a little bit more like it. Vineyards, the sun's poking out. There's hilltop castles in the distance. At least on these traffic lights they have a countdown, so you know how long you're going to wait. There's nothing worse than sitting at traffic lights waiting for them to change, and you're never quite sure if they're working or not. And we're going through the Tunnel de l'Epreuve. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. I'm just keeping myself entertained. Oh, it's only a very, very short tunnel anyway. I actually wasn't paying attention and I missed a turning, which is taking me through this nice little village, and yeah, it's lovely. All the while the sun is coming out more and more. Lovely. So I'm on the ascent of the Col de Sainte-Marie, which I'm hoping is going to give us some nice views. This sort of stuff is fantastic. The sun's a bit of a bugger though. There are lots of signs showing whether this route is open or closed, so I'm guessing in the winter when it snows they do shut it off, or shut it off in bad weather maybe. Maybe we're getting close to the top here. So Col de Sainte-Marie, altitude 772 meters, so it's not particularly high. Now I just wish you could smell the trees. And I think from here we drop down and then it's just forest for quite a few miles. It's nice that it's quiet as well. I can just take my time. I've got nobody tearing up my backside. Well, that was the Col de Sainte-Marie. Very nice ride, and the sun's out as well. What a lovely day for a ride. I've just stopped to get some fuel. and to swap the batteries over, and showing about 18 degrees. This camera's stuck again. I think it's the problem with the battery in the medium mod. I think the battery doesn't push in quite as tight as it should do, and maybe the vibrations on the bike are throwing it out. I don't know, but this now is going to kind of just flash and do all this sort of stuff which it was doing earlier, which is annoying because I've just got going again. I'll leave this camera running just in case that bursts into flames, but that doesn't look very healthy. I don't know what it's trying to do, but it's not good. Whoa, look at that. Anyway, I'm going to bang out another 50 or 60 so kilometres on here, and then I can get out onto some of the smaller roads. It's a pretty boring part actually to cross anyway towards Champagne, so I'll do that and I'll catch up with you later. Look, the lightweight gloves that I brought, which I never thought I was going to use, are now out because I'm in Lorraine. I've been sat here, admittedly in the sun, but the bike thermometer is showing 25 degrees. I don't think it's quite that warm, it's about 20 degrees maybe, but it's absolutely glorious now. It's like summer has returned, and I've now got, what is the time, 10 to 3, so I've got about 2 hours of riding on the back roads. Just had a message that username Kate has liked my photo on Instagram. Thanks, Kate. Hope you're well. And I'm just about, in half a mile, will clock up my 2,000th mile of the trip. Oh, this looks nice. "20 degrees in October, fantastic." And drum roll. Hey, 2,000 miles for the trip. So what an incredible road this is. It's largely straight, as you can see, but the D994 just kind of goes on forever. Couldn't think of a better way to illustrate open countryside. When you get to some of the high parts, you can just see for absolutely miles on a clear day like today. So whilst it might not be the most riveting of riding because it's largely straight, I'm finding it incredibly entertaining. Bugger me is a roundabout. That's the first one I've come across for miles. And a little known monument in this part of the world. This is the World's largest golf tee. And I spotted what appeared to be a memorial. Something to do with agriculture, by the looks of it. There's the old beast. It's done me well this trip. There were times when I kind of wished I'd have had something a bit bigger. And that chain is looking a bit slack. Let's have a stretch. And let's want this bloody camera out. At least it's a bit easier to do here because I can pop this open. So I've just seen signs for Epinay, which means we are getting close to Champagne region. You can see the hills in the distance there. Over the other side of that, we're in prime Champagne country. But yeah, it's been another good day's riding. A real mix of backdrops over the Col earlier on, and then a bit of boring motorway, but that just helped break the journey up so that I can spend more time doing this. And then just really incredible agricultural land here, and thankfully I've had some nice weather behind it. And there we go, there is my sign for Reims, or however they pronounce it in French. Any French speakers there could correct me. Now we're starting to get to some of the champagne houses. There's Pommery on the right hand side there. Quite an impressive building. School kicking out time, so that explains the traffic. From my son Joe, who's obsessed with Mark 1 Renault Twingos. There you go, Joe. Well, that's dinner sorted out, and maybe breakfast tomorrow. So I've got a Tex-Mex baguette. I also have a massive palmier, which I'll probably have for breakfast tomorrow, pasta al donato and a couple of drinks, so I should be sorted. I can't believe the weather today. It's just been, particularly from sort of lunchtime onwards, it's just been lovely. I've taken off layers and I'm still hot. It's still 19 degrees. My Birkenstocks, which were absolutely knackered, I thought, well, I won't need them tonight. It's the last day. I'm going to throw them away when I get home, so I might as well throw them away now and give myself just a little bit of extra space, a little bit of extra room. And probably tonight is the night when I could have done with them. Cool little place. Vineyards as far as the eye can see. A cool little place. Keeps getting better. What a lovely piece of riding to end the day on. A really good day. I'm a bit hot and sweaty. Coming through Reims at the wrong time didn't help, but this is a perfect way to finish it. I'm not sure how much I'll film tomorrow, because as I say, when I want to go home I just want to get on the bike and go. I'll just get up in the morning. In theory I could take all day and take a nice windy route, but once you get a little way out of this region there's not very much to look at, so I think I might just hit the motorway and get up to the tunnel as quickly as I can. If I can get an earlier crossing then that'll be good. It'll be nice to get home. Tomorrow is day 10. It feels like I've been away for a long time. At the same time it seems to have flown past. I think because I've not stayed more than one place for one night. There's been a whole kind of, yeah, it's odd. Time has flown, but it does seem like I've been away for a long time. And this is the town I'm staying in, Trigny, I guess it's pronounced. Looks like a very nice place. There's another Twingo Joe. Ah, this is the Epicurean. Bonjour. Vous parlez anglais?
We can do is like, you know, platters of cold meats and cheeses.
Oh, okay.
This is what we do at night time.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah, I'm staying at an Airbnb up the road.
Yeah, in this village.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
on your own.
Yes.
No, see, you're on your own.
I'm on my own. Yeah.
With your GoPro.
Yeah.
Sadly, when I left the bar to ride the last 700 or 800 yards up to my Airbnb, my camera failed to switch on, so I didn't capture that footage. However, Trigny is a beautiful little village and I would definitely go there again. The Airbnb that I stayed at, hosted by a lady called Celine, was absolutely fantastic, and I'd really like to explore that area more. There's some beautiful riding to be had around there, and actually to get down to this village is really accessible from the Eurotunnel, very easily doable within a long weekend. So that's a trip I'm definitely going to do. I'll probably leave that till next spring, but I've got a fantastic place to stay and I'm really looking forward to finding out more about this region and bringing that to you in another video. Okay, here we go, day 10, final morning, and had a fantastic stay in Celine's house last night. Lovely house, really nice room, very lovely lady, looked after me well. And this is a backdrop of where I stayed. We've got Reims in the distance, Rennes in the distance, vineyards everywhere, beautiful village. And I think it's probably a good time to wrap this video up in terms of the travel section, because from here I'm heading straight to the auto toll and I'm just going to blast it back to the tunnel, and that's not going to make for a very interesting video. So I will probably go through a few bits and pieces, my thoughts back home in the cave, but for now I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to get cracking. See you later. There we have it. I've literally just pulled onto my driveway. A pretty uneventful journey up from Reims, just a blast up the A26, usual rubbish on the M20, M25, and yep, home just after lunchtime, which is great. I can unpack and go and have a bath and just chill out for the rest of the day, which is good. So it's 10 days, 10 countries, 2,357 miles, although to be fair, it was never about countries and mileage. It was all about that trip. It just so happened to be that to get to the site that I was going to was a bloody long way away. So yeah, so glad I did it. It's taken a few days to let it all sink in. I still don't think it has thoroughly, but when I look back at the video that I've taken and the footage and the photographs, and have a chat to my family and stuff about it, then yeah, it would be good. I was pleased. I did it as a pilgrimage for my father. I just want to say a big thank you to a few of the people that helped me out on this trip. Nobody sort of gave me any financial help, but I've tested the SW Motec assist bags and I'll bring a full review on those, but off the top of my head, really good. They've worked really well. They haven't leaked, but I'll go through that in more details. And thanks to the guys, Sebastian, Johannes and the rest of the team there that looked after me for the day. I want to thank Dunlop for providing these tyres. These Trailmax Meridians have been on the bike for a while now. They're probably now not too far away from needing renewal, but absolutely fantastic. They just dealt with everything that was thrown at them. The horrible rain on the first few days, no problems whatsoever. Revit have supplied some of the clothing that I'm worn, which is good, and the Halvson's gloves, which didn't perform as well as I would hope to have done, but thank you to all of those people. I'm going to put the bike away before it rains, so if you've got any questions, anything you want to know, any comments would be gratefully received down below. And all it leaves me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.